Like Purdue, it's just an example. Purdue losing to Fresno State is okay. We still win the Big Ten West. But me,
Billy Napier gets fired.
hey, really the best time of the year. I will be seated watching Red Zone for 7 hours on Sunday.
What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to the episode of Backyard Banter. Whole gang's back together. Tanner, James, Johnny. What a night last night of NBA hoops, man. I texted Tanner. I think it's our whole group chat. Tanner's the one that responded.
we were locked in.
As Jamal Murray broke the Lakers' hearts, I was completely neutral in the game, but like even I felt it, and I've never even liked the Lakers really.
Yeah.
Thank God the Nuggets are likable. By the way, they're the next like dynasty, and they're very likable. But anyway, every single home team has won, and even if you go to the NHL playoffs, every home team has won except for Toronto beat Boston last night. But home court's been apparent. Seems like everyone's up 2-0. So Tanner, I'm gonna ask you. We're recording this before the Milwaukee game tonight, the Phoenix game, all that stuff. There are 3 teams that are down 2-0. Which one out of those 3 have the best chance of coming back?
I mean, I don't think any of them are going to come back, but if I had to give an answer right now, I would go with the Sixers, but I really don't think they're going to do it.
I literally wrote 76ers best chance to come back down.
I don't see it. Like the Knicks are so like Jalen Brunson isn't even playing well. Embiid's definitely not 100%, but the Knicks role players are so good. I've been saying it all season. I know I haven't really said it much on camera, but just when I've been watching the Knicks, like Deuce McBride can get buckets. Dante DiVincenzo can light it up. Bojan Bogdanovic has some playoff experience. Hartenstein's playing well. Josh Hart's playing well. Like
Hartenstein had a grown man rebound
like,
last night.
And Josh Hart's been huge.
The Knicks have role players that just excel at what they do, and even when Jalen Brunson doesn't play well, they're still winning. So I would say the Sixers, but I really don't see it. I see this being gentlemen's. I think it's Knicks in 5. I had Knicks in 7 before this series. I think I was the only one that picked the Knicks, and I'm glad I did. But the Sixers, they might win Game 3 at home, but that's all I see them getting. The Knicks are so good. But yeah, sorry to your Magic, John, but like I don't see the Magic doing it. I don't see the Lakers doing it.
I don't want to watch the Magic play more basketball.
I think all 3 of those 2-0 are going to be gentlemen's, but if I had to give my answer, I'm going with the Sixers.
I think the Sixers right now, the issue that they have, and losing that tight one last night, is they're only getting production out of 2 guys. Maxey and Embiid are the only 2 guys that are doing anything worth noticing of, and you've got the Knicks on the other hand, who Tanner's been on all year long, just role player. That's what they're doing, right? I mean, when you've got Kyle Lowry going for like 6 points, not very good, right? The Sixers just don't have. They have got 2 guys right now that are carrying them to these late game situations, and then at the end of the day, you're relying on 2v5, and it's hard to beat a good team like Knicks in the Garden, mind you. So personally, like I said, I already wrote the Sixers have the best chance out of the teams that are down 2-0. I think we're going to see a couple other teams that are going to be down 2-0 tonight. So that personally, that's my opinion. But I mean, you take Philly, you take them home. I think they could get 2 at home. I could see this series getting tied at 2 apiece. And we were talking about it last night when we were watching the games. This series gets back 2-2. Who knows what's going to happen? So we'll see. I like the Sixers. I was high on them to start. I got to get some key contributors though, besides Maxey and Embiid. So.
Yeah, the old kind of adverb is the series doesn't start until a team wins on the road. So the Knicks did what they did, took care of business, and frankly, they should have lost, and they deserved to lose. It was a blatant foul on Maxey that wasn't called. Even Stephen A. Smith, who's the biggest Homer Knicks fan ever, went on and said, I was sitting right there. I don't know how that wasn't called. He got mauled. So, I mean, it hurts my heart for Sixers fans, but Joel Embiid doesn't even look 60%. I mean, he can't rebound. He somehow finished with like over 10 rebounds yesterday. I don't know how. Maybe just by being 7-1, but he has no lift at all. I was watching the game with Mayo, and there was a very distinct point in the fourth quarter. He caught the ball around the 17-foot mark, and I literally told Mayo, I was like, he's taking a fadeaway. 100% he's taking a fadeaway. He took two dribbles, fadeaway, short. Yeah. He's 7'1", and there's not a guy that can guard him. He needs to get his ass in the post.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. He needs to get on the block. They're relying on Maxey too much, and Maxey's been spectacular.
He's
been just so many big shots.
Exceptional guard play thus far in the playoff games.
And B needs to get on the block, man. He's taking too many threes, taking too many fadeaways. I'm not even a Sixers fan. I don't care about the Sixers. It makes me mad as a basketball fan to see Joel Embiid, who's probably the most gifted offensive player that we have in our league, taking 17-foot fadeaways over Isaiah Hartenstein.
You
It's
could
a
tell he's
bad
hurt.
Shot.
You could tell he's hurt.
And credit to him for gutting it out. But if he's that hurt, I don't want him to affect this anything long term, man. I mean, look, I think the Sixers could very well come back. You said we haven't had a good Jalen Brunson game. I predicted Jalen Brunson was going to struggle. He's not a number one option on a championship team. That's why the Knicks won't make it past, or maybe they'll win the second round. That's why they won't win a championship. Role players played good at home. Buddy Hield has been awful in this series.
That's true.
Kyle Lowry, who showed flashes, has been better than what you expected.
He had a few tough shots,
But when you're relying on, I think he's 37. I think when you're relying on a 37, 38-year-old Kyle Lowry, you're not going to win games. You're not going to win playoff games. They need more to Kelly Oubre. He was the one guy that kind of elevated himself from the two-star players. Then it was kind of Kelly Oubre and then the rest of the bench. But yeah, Buddy Hield's the X factor for them. Josh Hart and Deuce McBride has been spectacular for them. And I don't know if you can continue that. Maybe in the first round, but throughout the playoffs. I might even say that the Sixers are going to come back and win this series. But it's so hard to say that. I mean, if Joel Embiid was at least... He has no lift at all. He can't get off the ground. You see it when Hartenstein flew in there, just got a grown man's rebound, ripped it away, and then... DiVincenzo is a good shooter. Give him 2 looks, he's going to hit one of those. Yeah. Quickly, I want to talk about the Magic. Everything I said in their preview about why they're going to lose is why they're losing. They have no perimeter shooting, no offensive identity besides Paolo and Franz, or Paolo getting a screen from Gary Harris. Look, it's very simple. You need to go get Trae Young or Anthony Simons if you really want to have a chance. You need a guard that can straight up score. Jalen Suggs is their point guard, and he's a 2 guard. He's not a true point guard. And then you're relying on Wendell Carter to hit perimeter threes consistently. There were 2 teams.
Let me tell you, that doesn't work.
There were 2 teams that played a 10-man rotation in the playoffs. They were our 2 teams, and guess what happened? Neither of them have won a game yet.
Yep.
And the Pacers bench unit's better, but I'm pretty sure the Pacers played 11 people.
Magic played 11 last night.
Yeah. And, well, the Magic we got 2 minutes of Caleb Houston minutes, which don't count. But look,
and the Cavs are rocking an 8-man lineup.
Yeah, and so are the Sixers, and so are the Knicks, and so are the Bucks. The Bucks might be a 9-man, but look. At point, this was a lineup to start second quarter. After the Magic were down 12, it scored 18 points in the first quarter. This was the lineup: Cole Anthony, who's okay, he can shoot it. Markelle Fultz, and if he plays another minute in this series, Jamal Mosley, you're a finalist for Coach of the Year. I'm sorry, you need to get eliminated from that award. Markelle Fultz is throughout his career, he's been a positive defender, and this series he's been a negative defender, and he can't shoot outside of the restricted arc. Not even in the paint, outside of the restricted arc, he cannot shoot. And then you got Joe Ingles, who's averaging 1.9 points per game through 2 games. Then you have Mo Wagner, who's been the best player on the floor for the Magic, besides Paolo and Franz. It's been Mo Wagner. Then you have Wendell Carter. Don't get me started on Wendell Carter. Look,
I know all about Wendell Carter.
The Magic aren't supposed to be here, right? They had a very good season, but they held the Cavs to under 100 points, and they lost by double digits
10.
both times. I mean, they were doing everything right defensively. My God, if they just had any sort of offensive punch besides Paolo, they would, they could win a playoff series.
Yeah.
Shout out to the Cavs, though.
Yeah,
I mean, Donovan Mitchell has been
unreal.
incredible, but Jarrett Allen has been
good.
the X factor for the Cavs.
And
he had 16 and 18 in game 1 and 16 and 20 in game 2. He's been incredible on the board.
And if Evan Mobley's going to hit perimeter shots consistently, then the Cavs could, look, they're not going to beat the Celtics, but they could win multiple games in that series. But just really disheartening from a Magic fan seeing this. And, obviously, I'm not a basketball expert by any means. I like to think that I have a good grasp on what, positive basketball can do. Just ask IBC. But it's just so frustrating. And it's his first playoff series. He doesn't know that you're short in the rotation. Stuff gets tight, but it is what it is.
It doesn't take an expert though to figure it out. That you shouldn't be playing 10 guys.
I said, the Cavs protected home court, the Knicks protected home court. Denver's a different animal. But God, we can talk about that series real quick. First of all, the fourth quarter of that game was so entertaining.
Yeah, I wanted to say that was one of the things I wanted to come on and say is I sat down last night and I turned TNT on. I didn't even watch the Magic Cavs because I think that Shaq, Ernie, Kenny, Charles, they are more entertaining than the games itself.
Yeah.
So I sat down and watched their pregame show, and then I watched the whole Knicks game, and then I sat and watched those 4 hooligans get after it again in the studio.
It's just Charles, man.
And
honestly,
it is so entertaining. Last night was the best 5 hours of NBA basketball I've watched in a row in a long time.
Since the mid-2010s.
Yesterday's games were unbelievable.
Yeah,
they were
so
unbelievable.
I agree, and I mean that Nuggets game. We were watching the game, and we knew the Nuggets were down 15, and we were like,
You knew.
they won the game.
You knew.
You just had a feel. And again, in hindsight, it's crazy. It came down to a buzzer beater like it did, but you knew that the Nuggets were getting whatever they wanted. They were just missing some shots. But same with the Lakers. Like, offensively, like, it was an incredible game. LeBron was special. He had a few plays. You're like, is that guy really that old?
The steal on the
steal
fast
dunk,
break,
yeah.
And then the dunk
Yeah.
at 39 years old.
It's
after
impressive.
playing 40 minutes in game one and played.
It's impressive.
Unreal.
But then on the flip side, and again, we're used to it now, but the Joker is one of the most special and most gifted players. He's got the best footwork in the world.
Whenever he wanted to bucket, Anthony Davis, he said all this stuff about how he's the best defensive player in the league, and he very well might be. He's one of the 5 best defenders in the league.
Can't
but
guard
whenever Jokic wanted to, whenever it was crunch time, it was, give me that. Boom.
And then MPJ hit some big shot.
Look, if you would have told me before the game, D'Angelo Russell has 20 plus, Anthony Davis has 30 plus, LeBron James has a triple-double, and you held the Nuggets to, what was it, 101 points? I'd be like, they won that game. And on the flip side, Kentavious Caldwell-Pope didn't hit a 3. Jamal Murray was 4 of 19 at a point. If you tell me all those things, we're like, the Lakers
they have to win that game. Yeah.
And then, look, that shot by Jamal Murray was freaking epic.
Tough.
What a shot.
And then the Joker just, again, has the most casual triple-double.
Yeah.
And again, we were just sitting there, and, he has 35, 18, and 10. And it's like, wow. Like, it's just incredible.
Yeah. I even think the Lakers Darvin Ham is such a bad coach.
Awful.
The X's and O's, it's so bad.
Awful.
And he's really holding them back, but... Like,
he's relied on superstars to carry them to this
the Lakers got away from Anthony Davis in the fourth quarter. I don't think he scored, and he was giving it to Jokic a little bit. I mean, Anthony Davis was unreal in the first half, and then I even think they got away from LeBron a little too much.
Mm-hmm.
Like D'Angelo Russell had that layup in the paint to I think retake the lead, but LeBron needs to have the ball in his hands, and I don't even necessarily agree with him and Anthony Davis going to a pick and roll. Just even he had Kentavious Caldwell-Pope on him, even just. In ISO, right side, him catching it, 15 feet. Like, LeBron's going to manipulate that and get a good shot.
Yeah.
So, Darvin Ham needs to wake up. I hope they win a game in this series. And this could very well be the best 2 teams in the West.
I'm not opposed to that.
I think the Lakers are one of the 3 best teams in the West. I just think, they're playing the best team in the NBA right now.
And if you give that shot to LeBron that he missed the top of the key 3, that he makes that.
I'll tell you what,
7 times out of 10.
He hit 2 huge threes back to
back.
To put him in that position, and even
he was getting what he wanted, man.
Even it was wide open, but I would never question LeBron's.
Oh, it was a great shot. It was a great shot.
But
yeah,
man, it was wide open.
Have to take it.
You gotta hit
it.
I get he wasn't getting any calls about how to do
you want to be the GOAT, bro, you gotta hit that shot. I'm sorry.
Yeah, if he would have hit that, he probably was the GOAT.
And the fact that people are leaving that game trying to say, he's not the GOAT, that shouldn't be the...
No, he was special.
That shouldn't be the thing, but, at the end of the day, Michael Jordan, and I hate to make it about this, but Michael Jordan's hitting that.
Well, here it's not even that. It's not even that. It's what LeBron and I'm.
When Michael Jordan's biggest fan, years old, his ass will sit on the couch.
Well, and I'm Jordan's biggest fan. But what LeBron did last night at 39 years old against the best team in the West was very special to watch, and it pained me to watch because he was absolutely hooping.
It's not even just the intangible stuff that he does. It's his athleticism that he still has.
He looks like a 30-year-old. Not even close to 40.
And we're gonna turn to the games tonight. As you guys watch this, the outcomes are already come, but we're still gonna preview them. Tanner, talk about the Pacers and what they need to do to win Game 2.
Yeah, well, first things first, they can't play 11 guys. They got to shorten that rotation to 9. They do have a really good bench. They lead the NBA in bench points. And they got to shoot better from 3. 0 for 12 in the first half does not help at all. But I would say Game 1 was a great learning experience. They got their feet wet. Most of these guys, it's their first ever playoff game. It was their welcome to the playoffs moment, right? Dame has 35 in the first half. Welcome to it, Mm-hmm. So I'm glad they got Game 1 under their belt. I said coming in, just win 1 on the road. You don't have to win 2 on the road. You got to split.
I feel supposed to win both of them.
Yeah, I feel really good about Game 2. I think Pascal Siakam has been there, done that. He's going to have a good series. I expect Halliburton to be way more aggressive tonight.
I didn't think he was very good.
He
shot the ball 7 times in Game 1.
You got to shoot the ball 7 times a quarter, I think. At least maybe 5 times a quarter.
At a player with that caliber, absolutely.
Well, he's passed first. He
always has been.
More.
But again,
when
you look at the box score and you see Tyrese Halliburton shot the ball 7 times, you're like, okay, Siakam hooped. Okay, so Halliburton probably had 18 assists.
Yeah.
And he only had 8.
Yeah.
So he wasn't very good. And he played 38 minutes. He played.
You correct me if I'm wrong, but the Pacers don't have that secondary score off the bounce. It needs to be Tyrese and Pascal.
And
Nembhard-
Miles Turner was
Look,
awful.
Nembhard's capable, but
I've
he's
watched a
not
lot of
like-
Andrew Nembhard. He's not gonna go get you 25 in a playoff
They
game
miss
multiple times.
Benedict Mathurin
Yeah,
desperately
bring him off the bench.
because he can go get a bucket and he's out for the season, which sucks.
Bro, I swear he
And-
played.
No, he tore his
tore
shoulder like
something.
2 months ago. So they miss him desperately. If they had him, it'd be a much different story. But they're still good enough to win this series.
Absolutely.
If they win Game 2 tonight, I think they will win the series. If they don't, then they're in trouble. Like that's just the nature of
Will
what
they
this
win
game
tonight?
is tonight. I do think they win tonight.
Yeah,
the
I
Bucks
agree.
played really well too. The Pacers played bad, and the Bucks played really well. I think you're going to see the Pacers come out and play a little bit better tonight.
This is going to be a question mark for me because I think this goes split. Like I think it's going to be 1-1, 1-1.
And that's a Bucks dream because then you can ease Giannis back.
And then you get Giannis back.
So,
Exactly. Because that's the thing. The Pacers have to win tonight. I think it's a must-win. I know you might not think so.
I
but,
think it is.
Okay, cool. So it's a must-win here. And then it obviously just got to get... If you go 2-1 up, then they might get Giannis back in. If they're down 2-1, right, you never know what's going to happen because we just don't know with this kind of injury. Are they going to ease him back? Yeah. It's a scary injury because we've seen in the past that these injuries could result to crazier injuries.
KD.
Exactly. So I think for me, Miles Turner has to be...
Got to be better.
Just good. Like, he was so bad in Game 1. Dame is incredible. He's special. He's now the guy on the court with Giannis being out. So you're going to get that out
in the
of...
second half, though.
Correct, but I think that was more so in the playoffs, we don't have to win by 30. We just have to win. And they were just coasting, I think.
Trust me, I'm not discrediting Dame.
Right, and so it was incredible what Dame was able to do, kind of get whatever he wanted because of the fact is, and it was my concern, that Pacers just don't guard very well.
Yeah. Well,
And
some of the shots Damian Lillard was hitting were
That's what he
like
does,
they
so.
were tough.
But that's Dame,
But,
right?
like, and I know
Dame's been
that's-
doing that his whole career.
I know that's
Nothing in it,
Dame,
You know, you
like-
shake his hand, you make him take.
I think
the
Pacers
shot.
win tonight, and I think they have to. Otherwise, I think this is
they're
going to
gonna
be a
be
gentleman.
Look,
I think it'll be a gentleman's
the
5-game series.
The Pacers need to hit probably 15 threes ish.
10.
No, more than 10.
Because when they hit the threes, it opens everything
The
up.
Magic hit 9 threes last night, and they still. I'm
Scored
telling
80,
you, yeah.
7
I
points,
think the
whatever.
Pacers need to be in the 13 to 15 made threes range, and because it's hard to win one on the road. They need their bench guys to step up, and you know you always hear like role guys play better at home, and they got good Malik Beasley, and Pat Connaughton minutes,
Yeah.
and.
Neesmith needs to be better for
yeah,
the Pacers
yeah,
because he's a guy that if he's hitting threes, you're not beating the Pacers.
He's a smart kid.
I guess we'll find
Vanderbilt
out.
legend.
We'll
But
find out
we'll see.
tonight.
We'll go to the Timberwolves game. We were just talking off camera how ridiculous Anthony Edwards is. When he's locked in defensively like that, there's not a lot he can do. Like, he can't do. I know, it's just some January games, you don't want to give it to that kind of intensity, but, I mean, he took the KD assignment, and he handled it. I mean, he outplayed him.
Yeah.
It was
on
incredible,
record.
and he said it in his presser. He thinks Kevin Durant's like his favorite player, right? And to be able to do that against one of the best players that we've ever watched, right? And at least when I've been alive, I mean, KD has been there, done that, kind of done everything. And so to be able to do that, and then not only is he talking smack to KD, but he's going down and talking smack to Beal and all these other guys. Like, he belonged in this moment, and the Timberwolves, who've been a question mark for me all year long, are coming out, and they're coming out hot. And Phoenix, they're in trouble. I mean, Phoenix could be in trouble. If you get Anthony Edwards going, like I said, we talked about it on the podcast. We watched it firsthand. He could have 0 points in the first quarter, and he will drop 25 in the second quarter without blinking an eye and take over the game. And next thing you know, the Timberwolves are going to be up by 10. So shout out to everyone on the Timberwolves, and shout out to Ant because, oh my God, he's incredible to watch.
Hey, but they got Jaden McDaniels, though. Like,
Yeah.
That's what he said. He said they got KD, but we got Jaden
That's
McDaniels.
true.
I love that
I
mentality.
guess, yeah.
Anthony Edwards is so locked in. He is, for me, in terms of just pure athleticism and like having that mentality that I'm going to come out and I'm going to just dog you for 48 minutes. He is the best athlete in the world for any sport. You
go.
can call me crazy,
You heard
but
it here first.
in terms of the mentality and just pure athleticism and skill, like
Dude, he's
he is
nuts.
the best at what he does. I know he's not the best player in the NBA right now, but he will be in 2 to 3 years.
Can be.
Could
He
be,
very well
absolutely.
the best
And
player.
that goes back to what we were talking about. The guard play thus far in these playoff series has been incredible. I mean, we've talked about Dame 35 in the first half. Like, Ant was incredible. So, I mean, it's been fantastic to watch because a lot of these teams are paired up with a great guard and a good big, right?
Yeah.
And so there's a good mix between both in this playoffs right now. And you got a ton of great bigs. but the guard play is there to watch too.
Yeah,
so.
with that being said, Phoenix is going to win tonight. Devin Booker was atrocious in Game 1, and they'll get more out of him. I think he'll be really good. I think KD is going to respond because he's a legend.
They're too good to not come back.
Like I think the Suns get this one. Like Ant's really good, but I think was he 23 years old? It's hard to keep up that level of intensity without letting your emotion get the best of you when you're going up against a guy that has 2 championships. D-Book's been in the finals. Bradley Beal's a veteran. So, yeah, I it wouldn't surprise me if Minnesota won tonight, but I think we have 1-1 going to Phoenix, and, I pray this series goes 7. It's a great matchup. But we'll move on to the last game. Mavericks-Clippers, a sleepy Game 1. I'm not going to lie. We were watching James golf. James, shout out James, top 10 in conference. But we were watching James golf, and me, Tanner, and Resh were sitting there watching the Clippers game, and we looked, and the Clippers were up 20 at the end of the first quarter. And look, the Mavericks have always been Luka, Kyrie, but then now no one. I mean, Maxi Kleber was terrible. The last time I looked, he was 0 of 5 from the field.
That's not the Maxi Kleber I know.
No.
And it's kind of the same thing with the Giannis thing. The more the Clippers can win, the longer they can keep Kawhi out to make sure that knee is 100% healed. James Harden was magnificent.
Special.
Normal Game 1 James Harden that he does almost every playoff series. Paul George, he was just okay. I feel like he could have done a little better, but God, I mean, the Mavericks need someone else to step up. Just in the slightest.
I just don't know if they have it. I really don't. I don't think they have it. They've got 2 special pieces, but besides that, I think the Clippers, when you look at the roster, Johnny had mentioned it, you take this team 5 years ago, this team still got it.
Yeah,
and you put Kawhi in Game 3, Game 4, Game 5, whenever he comes back, the Clippers could make a run because
they can win the finals.
Yeah.
They could especially in the West, there's just some question marks in the West.
And they get the easy path. They don't have to face the Minnesota Nuggets or the Suns until the Western Conference Finals, or the Lakers. I mean, the 4 best teams are all right there. And instead they get the Thunder, who barely beat the Pelicans without Zion, and Brandon Ingram was atrocious.
Awful.
Right? But PJ Washington needs to be better. They got him at the deadline. He needs to be better. And Tim Hardaway, Tim Hardaway is a guy, if he had 30, you wouldn't blink. If he has a 0, you wouldn't blink. You can't have that inconsistency in the playoffs. So I do think out of the Maxi Kleber, PJ Washington, and Tim Hardaway, one of them steps up in some way. And I don't know.
They have to.
Out of all the environments, the Clippers have the worst home court advantage, but I don't know. Making the pick on this one, sorry. I guess I'll take Dallas because I do think one of the role players will step up. And look, Luka's going to get 30 every game.
Yeah.
It's how much can you contain Kyrie? If Kyrie gets 30, they're very dangerous. Can PJ Washington score 15? Can Tim Hardaway have 18? Can Maxi Kleber have 8 to 12? And then
I'm taking Luka for 45 tonight. I mean, he's going to go off tonight.
I think Luka goes off, but I'm still taking the Clippers because at the end of the day, when I look at the Clippers, they got Paul George. That's a guy that can defend really well. He can go get a buck. Zubats is a really good big. I don't think the Mavs have a matchup for him.
I like the Clippers.
And they got to pray to play him off the floor when they go that small ball.
Yeah, and on top of that, I'm taking Norman Powell, Amir Coffey, Russ Westbrook. I'm taking them off the bench ahead of the Mavs.
I totally agree.
Hardaway.
I totally agree.
That's just how I feel about this series.
With that being said, I need to see James Harden have 2 good playoff games in a row before we crown him. But
he's still tough though.
He's very good. But that's enough NBA talk. We're going to go into MLB. Quickly, I want to talk about the Rays and how disappointed I am. Pete Fairbanks heads to the IL. He has a 9 ERA. I know Tanner knows Pete Fairbanks, and he's very good. If you'd have told me in the preseason that Amen Rosario, Jose Caballero are the 2 best hitters right now, I didn't know who Jose Caballero was going into the season. I know Amen Rosario, he played for the Guardians and whatnot, but the Rays have been really bad, and help is on the way. Josh Lowe is in AAA right now. Aranda's about to come back. But look, I don't know if there's a more unlucky franchise. Obviously, there are. Just top of the head, and I'm biased. Than the Rays. You find your superstar. Small market team never pays anyone. Find your superstar. You give him $200 million, and he turns out to be a dumbass. Sorry to cuss again. I mean, that's just what Wander. Sorry to cuss. I'm sorry. It just takes that at me because God. I mean. It's just so disappointing. If you look at the opening day roster from last year, you have McClanahan, you have Rasmussen, you have Springs, you have Wander, you have Brandon Lau, and you can just keep going down the list. It's wow, what are we doing right now?
Yeah.
And you're banking on guys like Aaron Savali and Zach Littell. Zach Littell got DFA'd by Boston last year.
Yeah.
And then the Rays turned him into a starter. Now he's a sub-3 ERA. That stuff just isn't sustainable. And it's just, it's really disappointing. And look, the Rays have had a tough schedule. The Tigers are really good. The Screwball, who pitched their ace,
AL Cy Young.
he's been unreal. And he diced out the Rays. But, Randy's hitting below 150.
Yeah. I just looked. The Rays have 3 guys hitting 300, and 2 of them have 40 at-bats.
Yeah. There was a game against the Yankees. The Rays should have swept the Yankees in the Bronx. There was a game in the Yankees. Yandy and Randy combined to go 0 for 11 with 8 strikeouts.
Yeah, and that was my concern. And I'm not saying because we all know there is a ton of ball left.
Yeah.
But my concern with the Rays this year was that the seasons that some of these guys had last year might not transition over. And again, that could all change, right?
Yeah,
we all know
so much
it.
ball
We've seen
left,
it with the Cubs. You've seen it with the Rays. There's 162 games of ball. You bring up some AAA guys. You sign some guys that were DFA'd. Anything can happen. So,
But in the AL East, you can damn well lose a division before May.
Oh,
And
yeah.
everyone wins.
Because the Yankees and Orioles are hot.
The Orioles have been unreal. The Yankees, even though they lost yesterday, they've been better lately. And even Boston.
They're not
has been
bad.
good.
Boston's
Toronto's
not bad.
won 4 of 6.
Boston's been better than I expected.
It's just
100%.
so frustrating.
O'Neal's been unreal for
And then
Boston.
you look at all the stars with the Rays, and they're 500 right now.
Yeah.
And it's it's kind of
bad.
astounding. To be
It feels
completely
pretty
honest.
good, even though it doesn't feel
because
good.
everyone's talking about how good the Tigers are. Going into yesterday, the Tigers and Rays had the same record, and it's whatever. There's so much ball left, but it's just so disheartening to see as a Rays fans. And I know no one gives the games, but I promise you, there's a lot of Rays fans.
So obviously we talk about the AL East. Obviously with the NL Central being our division, you talk about 2 divisions that are not they're close, right? The Cubs are a game
They've been a game out.
a game
for
and a half
2
back
weeks
of the
now.
Brewers, but they're playing good baseball, so you can't be mad at that. You look at the bottom of the AL East, it's the Rays. You look at the bottom of the NL Central, it's the Cardinals right now. 2 teams that could absolutely turn it up, but they're what? A game below 500 or at the 500 mark.
Yeah,
So it's
I think the Rays are 5 back of the division right now.
It's
That's
2
it.
yeah.
It's been at
It's
500.
2
I could be
divisions.
wrong, but
Yeah, it's 2 divisions that are going to be fun to watch. I'm excited to watch. I'm more so the AL East is going to be predominantly going to be Yankees Orioles bloodbath.
Yeah.
For the NL Central though, I think there's 4 teams that can legitimately win this division because the Brewers are coming out of nowhere
Right.
and just it's like that first week. Oh, they won 4 out of the first 6, whatever. Well, now you get into week 2 and week 3 and they keep winning. Then you got to raise an eyebrow and be like, okay, maybe the Brewers are legit this year. And who knows? You get a new staff in there. Things are working for the Brewers. So I can't discredit Milwaukee for what they're doing. I don't know if it's sustainable. I like the Cubs and their projection because I think we're playing more sustainable baseball because we have the pieces. So I think if you're a Cubs fan, there's a lot to look forward to. But those 2 divisions, obviously, we're in a good spot for both of our teams. I mean, the Rays, they're in a they're in a bind.
The Rays
but
have a lot of help coming in.
Absolutely.
Jose Caballero, I'm going to say his last name wrong. He's the number 4 prospect in baseball. As the Rays just by best guy, and they brought him in the postseason. I know, when do you bring him up? He's got to come back up eventually.
Yeah.
When do you do your offense sputtering? And I think for the Cubs, I could be wrong. I'm no expert by the Cubs in any means. I still think they need another starting pitcher, high-end starting pitcher to be competitive. I know they just got the guy off the IL, but look, I don't think. Whatever. I think they need one more.
You need Hendricks to get out of the rotation. But
I was ready to talk about the rotation today. Steele's going to be back within the next week.
Yep.
Steele, he was finished 3rd in Cy Young. He's going to be there again.
Steady.
Shota Imanaga, as of now,
Rookie of the year,
is
maybe.
probably the Cy Young in the NL.
Yeah.
So, you have 2 studs.
Yep.
Can Shota keep it up like this all year? No. Can he keep a sub-2.5 ERA?
Hopefully.
I think he can. And then you look, Tyone looks sharp his first start. Javier Assad, I've been wanting to say this, is the most underrated starting pitcher in MLB.
Yeah.
He goes out every start. He will give you 6 innings, and he will give up less than 2 runs. It has been like this for almost a full season now, dating back to this time last year, and still today. Javier Assad at number 4 is disgusting. Ben Brown is figuring it out. Yeah. The young prospect.
The issue becomes with Kyle Hendricks because he'll give you 4 innings and give up 5.
So once Kyle Hendricks gets out of that rotation,
I agree.
It is disgusting. You mentioned the NL Central. The Cubs are the best team in NL Central. There's no doubt in my mind. They have all the pieces. I think the one knock is the bullpen. They've blown 4 saves, and they're 5 games above 500, which is ridiculous to think about. So once the Cubs bullpen turns it on, because they will at some point, and once they add more bullpen pieces, I just the Brewers are going to fade by July. The Pirates, I think, can be there. The Reds, I wasn't high on. I think the Cubs, by the time September hits, are going to run away with the division.
I agree. I think it's going to come down to the Cubs and Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
I really do. And that takes me back to 8-9 years ago when that's kind of what it was, right? It was the Cubs playing the Pirates in the wild card game and stuff like that. So excited for the NL Central. I think, like he said, the Brewers are just going to fade. But the Cubs, there's so much to be, when you're playing this good baseball and your best pitcher is on the IL.
And your best hitter is on the IL.
Yeah, that too. So it's great. It's exciting. It's fun to just be around baseball season again.
Yeah, baseball's always fun.
But I kind of want to.
You can watch your favorite team every day.
Yeah.
But here's a team that we got to talk about, and they play out of the AL West, and they're having some bullpen issues, and it's the Astros. What is going on in Houston? They are last in the division. I think they're
behind the A's.
8-13. If
here they come to Wrigley tonight.
Might not be right on that in that record.
They're going to turn it on.
Houston, we literally sat here on the podcast and predicted this division. We said if there's a sure lock, it's the Astros to win this division.
Well, you guys might have said that.
I think we did. And let me tell you, there's what's going on in Houston, because you look, starting pitching has been okay. It's been good. Their offense has been fine. But the start of the season, you get swept by the Yankees, and now you just enter this snowball effect, and their bullpen has been bad. So I don't know if you guys want to talk about the Astros, but if there's one team that's surprising me, it's this team.
The AL West as a whole has been really bad.
Yeah. The Rangers are one game above
Rangers
500.
That's the only team they have above 500 right now. And, of course, there's all the graphics that they're right above each other. If the Rays were in the AL West, they'd be leading it right now. But we're only about 25 games into the season, give or take, depending on when teams have their bye games and stuff, or if you're the Padres and you played in South Korea. Yeah. But you might have to hit the panic button a little bit, because they brought in Tanner, the lefty, Hader.
Josh Hader.
They brought in Hader, and everyone's like, "Oh, their bullpen solved." Hader can't pitch every day, and Hader hasn't been magnificent by any stretch of the imagination.
He's given up more
either.
runs this year than he did all of last season. Already.
Puts it into perspective. So, they need a 6th-inning guy, they need a 7th-inning guy, they need an 8th-inning guy.
Yeah.
They need
and you look
Hader.
at their roster,
they're going to figure it out, man. They're going to figure it out.
It's not come together.
They're going to figure it out, but we always talk about you can lose a division very early in the season, and if they continue down this road, they're going to find themselves fighting to get in a wild card spot.
A great example was the Padres last year. The Padres got off to a really bad start, and then all of a sudden it hit September, and they turn it on, and then they finish, 2-3 games out of the wild card? Yeah. Maybe a little more.
You could even put the Cubs in that realm last year.
Well, and luckily the AL West is gettable, right?
Yeah.
It's very
now,
it's a very gettable
they're very
division.
lucky that the Rangers have not turned it on.
Yeah.
But look, a lot of good baseball left. If you go, shout out to AL Central too, kind of what we predicted.
Yeah, the Guardians.
Guardians are really good.
A little bit easy when you play the White Sox.
Yeah.
But it's the
Royals really
win.
good. Hey, the Rays come to is a show called Guaranteed Rate.
Yeah, it is.
The Rays go there this weekend. So
Friday.
The White Sox are going to turn it on.
$6 tickets, man.
I like to think me and Tanner are going to be there Friday, but the White Sox are going to turn it on, man. They're going to find their offense and they're going to sweep the Rays. But a lot of good baseball.
Yes,
obviously,
sir.
so much time left on baseball. Basketball, NBA's exceeded my expectations.
And don't worry, we have another
It's
month
been
and a half
awesome.
of it.
So hopefully, still get good games tonight.
Yeah.
The draft is on Thursday.
I tell you what, I'm so heartbroken about Justin Fields still that I refuse to watch the first pick.
We'll have a recap of the draft on our Friday episode, and
I'm telling you, I
Tanner.
refuse to watch the first. I will watch the 9th pick. The Bears have the 9th pick. I'll watch that one,
buddy.
I just
we're
can't
gonna
do it.
draft. Who knows?
Drake May.
I'm
No,
so
it can't happen. It can't happen.
heartbroken over Justin Fields.
Jaden McDaniels.
Come home.
Jaden McDaniels.
Can they just
Daniels.
just roll Tyson Badgett out there, dude?
Buddy.
Just don't even get a
Dude,
quarterback.
you're gonna get over yourselves when Caleb Williams takes this city
When Caleb
to
Williams,
a Super Bowl.
When Caleb Williams wins in Lambeau for the first time in 6 years,
Dude, we need a quarterback to
you're gonna
beat
be
Green Bay.
freaking out.
That's all we need. We don't even need a Super Bowl.
We don't know.
We need to win.
We don't know that it's going to
What
be
happened to
him.
your
It wasn't
Justin
Justin.
Fields baby jersey?
Yeah, it's gone. It's gone.
For the one time.
Well, one night we took the Justin Fields jersey down and we tried to get Tanner to put it on. So
Didn't quite fit.
it didn't quite fit.
All right,
But
Tanner Swole's out.
yeah.
But
we'll see. Yeah,
sorry, we're
the
just
draft's
rambling
exciting.
now. Yeah,
There's
I
going to be
love the
some
draft.
moves made this
Trust me,
week
I sit down and
between
watch the whole
teams.
draft.
Oh yeah, you got to be.
People are trying to say
down.
the Bucks are going to take Michael Penix at 26 if they do that.
It's not gonna
I'll be very.
It's not going to happen.
You don't give someone $100 million and draft a quarterback in the first round.
Vikings got to trade up. That's my
the
only
rules.
thing that I think's got to happen.
You very rarely see this in their head coach O'Connell on stage somewhere being, yeah, we're going to trade up. We see someone to. You never see that.
Three,
around draft
probably
time.
three or
And
yeah.
they're,
Hey, Vikings, you want 9? Give us Jay Jettis.
Yeah, I don't think they could get.
Sounds
Buddy,
good.
we'll give him one. We'll
Yeah.
give him one.
But we're doing a little bit of draft right now. I think maybe Arizona, if they don't want to take Marvin Harrison, I would sit there and take Marvin Harrison. But if you can get up to them, I think New York's picking 5th. I've seen rumors that New York's trying to trade up. I saw rumors that the Raiders are trying to trade up.
Yeah.
So, yeah, very interesting.
It's a good draft.
What the Commanders and Patriots do. If I was the Commanders, low-key would have held on to Sam Howell, and you could have gotten the Kings ransom to trade back right now. But obviously, finding a franchise quarterback trumps all that. But anyway.
Sorry, last thing. This is I'm always excited to watch the
I
draft.
love the draft.
This is the least excited I've ever been.
Buddy.
And I genuinely mean that. That's not me. It's
You're
I
just
just
so
Run us through.
I'm upset.
Run us through. Okay, then run us through the Justin Fields draft because there's no way in your right mind you're going to sit here and think that we were going to draft Justin
I
Fields.
woke up that morning and I remember driving to school. Probably should not have been texting and driving and texting all my friends. I have a gut feeling Justin Fields is a
Maybe I'm
Bear
wrong.
today. I plain as day remember.
What's
it,
your gut feeling
and
for the first pick on Thursday then?
I don't want to see it. That's my gut feeling.
So if you don't want to see it, then who do you want us to draft?
Caleb Williams.
Okay, thank you.
But I'm just not.
and with
happy
this
it.
pick, the Bears select Caleb Williams.
Straight
There we go.
We'll
Move
see.
on.
Thank you guys for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed the banter at the end of it.
Good time.
Look, we only got a few more episodes left in person. This is our last week. After this one, I think we have 2 more. Obviously, Mayo's graduating, so is James. It's sad. We started this together. And we're 3 subscribers away from 300.
Get us
Man,
to 300
just
so we
get
can
us,
celebrate.
You can unsubscribe. Just get us to 300.
I don't know. I mean, I'll send James down a slip and slide if we get to
I'll do it.
300.
I'll do it.
I need
I'll do it.
something.
Why do I have to
Whatever
be the one that goes
encouragement.
down,
I'll do it
though?
too. We can take Tanner by the
All right, I'm more for that.
Chuck him down. We'll soak
I'm
him
more
up with
for
this
that.
stuff. We just got to get there. We've been at 294 and
We'll get there.
297 for
We'll get there.
a month. But
Maybe what's up, brother, will get us there.
yeah. Again, thank you guys so much for watching. All the support this entire year. It's crazy. We started this back in first week of August.
Yeah.
I think we're on Zoom, and it's almost been a year. And it's been a lot of fun, and we're not going anywhere. We're gonna keep doing it, and we already got a few guests lined up for when we go back to Zoom this summer. But anyway, you guys, thank you guys so much for watching. Leave a like, comment who the Bears should draft with number 1, and we'll see you guys on Friday.
See ya.
Peace.